second. I don't have to move over. Yo, 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 yo. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's going on? Peace and love. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy day 31. Day 31. 31 days of 50 is clocked. All right, this is almost over. We're here. Just give me a moment. We're going to put this thing on IG Live, Facebook Live right now. About the importance of mentorship. This is extremely important topic tonight, right? Mentorship, man. Everybody wants to do it alone. Well, so many people, clearly not everybody, but a lot of people want to do the shit alone, figure it out by themselves, and it's like, nah, we're not meant to do that shit, right? Mentorship is extremely important. We're supposed to have mentors. Mentors benefit us. I've had mentors. All of the greats have had mentors, whether it's speakers, coaches, athletes, right, entrepreneurs. All the greats have had mentors at some point in their journeys. Whew, yo, this coconut water is life. This shit right here is once upon a coconut. This shit is absolute life. Good evening, Starhawk 9218. What's the deal? NEPPC. Peace and love, brother. Peace and love. Thanks for tuning in, my family. So today, right? Today has been KK. What's the deal? Today has been I got some found out some stuff earlier. So this morning on SR Daily, I spoke about all of the terrible things that happened this past weekend, right? The different murders, the violence, and two people who I don't know personally, but I've seen, and I know a lot of my friends know them, right? Two different people, one guy in the Bronx, one guy and from Queens. I found out earlier that the brother from Queens that was killed, they called him Upper, right, as a rapper, family man, just started to really get popping. He was killed in his crib by a stepson, 16-year-old stepson, shot him and killed him. And that shit is devastating, right? That he got killed, that his 16-year-old stepson killed, right? Like somebody, that it was him. That shit is fucked up, right? On so many levels, right? On so many levels, this shit is fucked up, man. Again, we've been talking about our young people. We've been talking about, that's a key focus, I think, for a lot of us is our youth, right? And keeping them on a straight and narrow path, right? Focus, living life, being healthy, not getting in trouble. And then it's in your home, right? And again, I didn't know the brother personally, like he wasn't a friend of mine, so to speak, but he was close friends of some of my close friends, all right? And they all say the same thing. And what I know about him, again, I've seen him in a story, I've seen him in different places, and positive dude, great energy, dancing, right, spitting. And to be taken out by his stepson over smoking in the crib, right? He told his stepson, yo, stop smoking in the house. And stepson had a gun and shot him and killed him. That shit is fucked up, right? Thinking about the stepson's life, right, his future. And again, thinking about like the mentality, like what has to be going through your mind, like what has to be going on in your heart space, in your spirit, that you would even think about that. Now, I'm always going to be honest, right? There were times in my youth when my little brother's dad, right, my dad passed, and then my mother got with another guy, had a baby by this guy. And there were times when I thought about doing similar things to him, right? And it wasn't necessarily because he told me, because he didn't really say anything about anything I was doing. It was just because of the person that he was, right? I thought he was a piece of shit, right? Didn't really work. I thought he was taking advantage of my mom, right? And then little slick shit he would say, right? Not so much like what I can or cannot do. The slick shit that he would say just generally. Like what? Like, and so I've thought about, but again, for me, I didn't care at that time. I'm fucking 16, 17, 18 years old. I don't give a fuck about my life, right? So I go fuck about his life, and I feel like, like, yeah, it's just fucked up situation. And again, obviously, part of me as a young person who didn't care, as a young person who committed violence, as a young person who thought about doing more violence than I actually did, part of me understands that our young people, the frontal lobe, right, prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, so they're not thinking logically, rationally, right? It's all emotion, right? And a lot of it is driven by the fucking music, by the culture that we've embraced, that we've allowed to permeate, right, our communities, right? The culture of is a deaf culture. I don't give a fuck about nothing. Anybody could get it at any time, right? And then I'm always going to say that food plays a big part in that, because food impacts how you process emotions. Food impacts what you think, how you feel, how you process things that's said to you, right? Again, like, and I'm a person who, at some point in my life, people will say certain shit, I'm ready to go there. At this point in my life, I'm way more compassionate, way more understanding. We could say it's age, cool, right? But I wholeheartedly believe that if I had not changed my diet when I did, if I did not develop the practice of meditation and all of these different things, at this age, I would still be the same. How do I know? Because there are people who are in their 40s and 50s who are the same exact way that they were in their teens. People in their 60s and 70s who have the same exact attitude, same exact mindset, mentality, thought process, right? Emotional responses that they had when they were teenagers. So something made a difference, right? Like, and it's not just I was raised in the same environment, right? So my family has the same exact response in their 60s that they had when they were in their teens and 20s, right? So I'm always going to be an advocate for diet, right? Food, right? And again, what we listen to, yes. What we watch, yes. And what we put into our bodies, what we eat plays a huge role in our emotional process and our mental and emotional well-being, and ultimately in our actions and our behaviors. And so we got a lot of fucking work to do, man. I often say change your diet, change your life. Right, change your diet, change your life, man. And I gotta continue to figure out how to, like, put this message. And clearly there are people with bigger platforms sharing it, right? But continue to put this message in this way on a bigger platform, right? And we're gonna figure this shit out one way or another, because the state of our world, the state of our community, the state of our young people is fucking, it's tragic, it's horrendous. We're in a terrible place, which is why this work needs to get done, right? Which is why we need to build this fucking world healing system. So we have, a complete comprehensive system that addresses the whole human being, from nutrition, diet, what you're eating, what you're drinking, right, to community, your environment, who's around you, right, the people around you, the physical community, physical environment that you're in, right, to your education. What are you learning? How are you processing emotions? Do you know how to rewire your brain, reframe certain things that are said to you, right? Shift your limiting beliefs, right? And then continuum, vision, being able to see yourself, being able to see your future self, live that life for a day virtually, and know that that shit is possible. This shit is an absolute necessity. And the more things happen in this world, the more things I come across that is going on in this world, the more I realize that this shit is 100% relevant. It's 100% necessary right now. Right now, the whole entire system, not to break it down, not to make it easily digestible for funders. This shit is necessary as a whole thing right now. So that's my commitment, man, is to, as much as I fucking can, like, put as much energy as possible into bringing this shit into fucking fruition. All right. But anyway, we do got some stuff to talk about tonight. The importance of mentorship, right? NPPC said Elijah, mentor Malcolm, Booker T, mentor Garvey. Absolutely, man. Mentorship is extremely important. But before we go further, let us do a grounding. Today has been an emotional day for me. Some heavy conversation, some beautiful conversation, right? With some heavy stuff. Definitely some sadness, of course, some anger, frustration with all of the news. Looking at photos of my brother earlier who transitioned, right? Thinking about him, thinking about my sisters who transitioned. Their transition anniversary is this Thursday, right? So a lot of thoughts, a lot of heavy emotions. today, but we're here, and I'm grateful to be here. Grateful to be alive. Grateful to be here in Brooklyn, in Pomona. Just really grateful, and yeah, if you will, find a comfortable position, either laying or seated. Allow your back to be straightened as much as you can. Right, allow your arms to fall into a comfortable position. Allow your head to lean forward so that your chin is in your chest. And allow your eyes to close ever so softly. Simply become aware of your breath. And as you breathe, begin to bring into your space all of the folks in your life, in your past, who have mentored you, who have guided you, who have poured into you, teachers, coaches, elders, parents, uncles, aunts, big brothers, big sisters, little brothers or little sisters. Bring into your space, into your mind, everyone, or as many as possible, who have mentored you at some point in your life. Knowing, fully understanding that who you are today is because of all of those people. Anyone who has given you sound advice, anyone who has protected you from harm, anyone who has guided you on the right path, a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, a co-worker, a boss. And as you bring those individuals into your space, simply say thank you. Could even be an ex. I know a lot of people, when they split from either a husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, man or woman, they want to be distant and forget the good things. Focus on the split, focus on all the bad. But I'm always remembering that it wasn't all bad. And at some point, there may have been some guidance, some mentorship, something that they showed you or taught you that you may not have been aware of prior. So thank them even for the role that they played in you becoming who you are today. Know that none of us, no matter how great we are, become the greatest version of ourselves without the help, the guidance, the mentorship of others, whether big or small, whether short term or long term. All of it matters. Breathe into that. Take another breath. Let's do 4, 2, 6. Breathe in for 4, hold for 2, breathe out for 6. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Take one more breath. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Just as your breath is extremely sacred and important to the sustenance of your life, so is your community, So are those who have poured into you, who have shown you love and support. Give thanks. Ashe. Your eyes will close. Slowly begin to open them. Move your toes, move your fingers. Give yourself a neck roll. Come back to the space. Thank you for grounding with me. I appreciate you guys. Whew. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. We are gonna get into it. I'm taking another sip of this cocoa water. So mentorship, man, it is extremely important. I know like that I am who I am because of those who have mentored me, right? From a youth, being mentored by Dave Aarons, who is now one of my best friends, right? White guy who was our social worker in Queensbridge at the community center. White guy coming from Brooklyn, working in Queensbridge. We could not stand him at first. Learned that he really cared. He really cared about us, really cared about our safety, our well-being, our education, our growth and development. Became dear mentor of mine. Same time, James Moody, who is now here in Shango, one of my dear brothers, dear mentors, lives in Puerto Rico. Like moved all around the world, right? But was living in the Bronx and was working in Queens at the time, right when I was a youth. And then Walter Chick Austin. And a lot of what I do in Queensbridge, a lot of my community activism and advocacy is because of those three people in different ways. And mainly because of Chick, right? Chick was a giant. He was, I say, to us in Queensbridge, what Malcolm X was to Black people all around the world, right? He was our hero, right? Been in prison a couple times, right? Come from that era, and he was in the streets, and but changed his life, man. And single-handedly rebuilt the neighborhood. Single-handedly rebuilt the community center, right? Those first couple of years, he took his own money, right? Didn't have any investments, didn't have any sponsorships. Took his own money and would take us on trips. Would take us like different places. His own. He would get, like get the dudes in the streets from the hood. I had his money, and then would tell the dudes in the streets, "I need $100. I need $50. I need $200." And we'll put it together and make sure that we had things to do, right? During the year, in the summer, and then he got connected with the Children's Aid Society, right? And that's when we was able to officially formalize a program, right? Operation PAIR. And I can't remember what PAIR stands for, PER. I don't remember what it stood for. But Operation PAIR. And at 14 years old, we had the first official teen group, right? Sponsored teen group, legitimized teen program in the Queensbridge Community Center, right? And that was epic. We would go take specialized tests at Hunter College. We had all types of resources. We went on college trips. We went to fucking Howard, all those DC, Virginia, whatever those Black colleges was over there. I don't even remember them at this point. My brain is like, But we went on a nice fucking 4-day college trip, right? This is fucking incredible, man. Dorney Park, Hershey's Park, right? Like Chick was incredible. My grandfather, right? My grandfather really showed me the importance of feeding your community, right? My grandfather on Thanksgiving in South Jamaica, Queens, would have a bunch of turkeys in a car, and either he would drive or have somebody else drive, or we would drive all around Southside, and he would take turkeys to people, have me go with him in the shopping cart. We're going to this building, we're going over here down this block, and we're bringing people turkeys, right? Showing them the importance of feeding your people. And then Christmas time, he would make sure he had mad toys and just sit in front of the house like Santa Claus with his bears and everything, and just all the children who passed on the block, he would give toys and games. Right. My father, right. Although again he transitioned when I was 11, he showed me the importance of your children's friends. Right. Him and my aunt showed me the importance of like family, community. Right. Like my father used to come get me to go out to eat or go to a movie or something like that. He'd come from work, come down the hill on the block, playing basketball, football, whatever. My friends manhunt. You asked how many, and if it was only like 4 or 5 of us that could fit in the station wagon, you like tell them they got 15 minutes, go ask them when they could come. And come on, we got to leave in a couple minutes. I was telling them they would run, and some wouldn't be able to go, some would, but we were all packing the station wagon, and we would go eat, go to a movie, go buy games, all type of shit, right? So those were some mentors early on. And then going through prison and coming home, changing my life and getting into activism. First mentor was Erica Ford. Big time. Erica Ford is a giant. first mentor, and then that led me to Jeffrey Davis, also another giant. So my first two mentors in activism was Erica Ford and Jeffrey Davis, who are two giants, right? Who've been all in media for decades, who have done some incredible things in their respective boroughs and really around the country and around the world. Because both of them have done things in other countries, in Middle East and Africa and fucking all over the world, man. So mentorship, extremely important, all right? None of us grow alone. So I'm asking you guys, who helped you become who you are today? Right? I asked you to call some of those people in, right? Who helped you become who you are today? You could drop it in the chat, right? Because whether you realize it or not, somebody influenced you. Somebody influenced you to do wrong, right? Somebody influenced you to do right. Somebody influenced you to become an educator, to become an activist, to become an athlete, to play a certain instrument, right? To want to become a parent, maybe, right? To parent your children a certain way, right? Somebody influenced you, right? Through direct guidance, through an example, and sometimes an example of not just what you want to be, but what you don't want to be. Like, I know, unfortunately, my mother was an example of how I didn't want to raise my children, right? KK over there sleeping. KK, hey, come on up. Come on up. Yo, come on up. She's really asleep. Come on up. It's crazy. She's just really full. You're going to drop your laptop. Come on up. You're going to drop the laptop. Babe, you can't just fall asleep like that. You're going to drop the laptop. Like, you can't. Like, your laptop's there. You sleep. It's just a slide, and now it's broke. Okay. Move it off your lap because you're falling asleep.
No, I'm awake
now. No, come on now.
Okay. I'm up.
Y'all hearing this?
Yeah, real time.
Real time. That's big. She just be dropping asleep. But yeah, my mother was an example of how I didn't want to raise my children. I was committed to not hitting my children. I was committed to not cursing at my children. I was committed to not calling my children names, right? Because I know that for me, it didn't feel good. For my siblings, it didn't feel good, right? Somebody influenced you through a conversation, right? I told you guys, I still remember something that my uncle told me freaking when I was a teenager getting in trouble, and my uncle was addicted to drugs, crack cocaine, right? In and out of prison. And he tried to tell me something. I'm looking at him like, man, you high. Like, he was like, listen to the message, not the messenger. That shit stuck with me. Listen to the message, not the messenger. So now at 42 years old, I could get a message from somebody who a lot of people can't because they're looking at the surface. Oh, this person does this, or this person acts like this. Is what they're saying relevant? Doesn't matter. Doesn't have any relevance, right? And somebody influence you through correction. Now, don't do it like that. Do it like this, right? Do it like this. So that's what we're talking about tonight, because none of us grow alone, and mentorship is extremely important. Somebody influenced you to become who you are. We got some comments over here. NEPPC said, wow, Erica Ford was mentored by Viola Plummer. Yeah, she was. That's how I met Viola Plummer initially, through Erica Ford. Right? I met a lot of people through Erica Ford. I met Al Sharpton first through my uncle back in the days. But then I became, not super close, but I was at National Action Network, meeting a few meetings with Al Sharpton through Jeffrey Davis, right? Who really got me involved with a lot of other activists throughout the city, right? In City Hall and a bunch of different things. Said Kwame Ture mentored me by his example of emphasizing organizing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Starhawk said TV, books, my mother, my cousins, and my exes. That's fire. And so what's dope about that is that you can be mentored by somebody who you never actually met by listening to their talks, by reading their works, right? Like one of my mentors in the last 10 years definitely has been Les Brown, Tony Robbins, right? Freaking Gary Vaynerchuk, who I actually met, or I had a conversation with. Those have been some of my mentors the last 10, 15 years, right? But yeah, shit is extremely important. So although I never knew, you can never have known somebody, but they could become your mentor just by their example, right? The things that they've done. So this is the truth, right? Growth, again, is not a solo journey. No matter how fucking strong you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how great you think you are, right? No matter how disciplined you are, you will go further with guidance. That is 100% facts. I guess it's quote, right? A proverb. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, right? African proverb. I say, not only do you go further with support together, but you also go faster together, We go faster together, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months together, go further and faster. We get the job done a lot faster. Yes, when it's just you, you might be able to make decisions faster. You don't got to talk to other people and get a consensus. But to really get to the goal, like especially when it's a big goal, you go together, you go faster together, right? So what is mentorship? It's not just advice, right? A lot of, oh, I give advice. No, no, no. Advice is cool, but mentorship is access. It's access to perspective. It's access to a person's experience. It's access to their wisdom, right? How they think, not just, yo, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that if I was you. That's cool. Advice, right? Guidance, right? To some degree. But having access to a person's wisdom, how a person thinks, having access to their network, right? And again, that's why I'm very specific, like who my mentors were. Specifically in activism, Erica Ford and Jeffrey Davis had access to their networks, access to how they organized, to how they planned, right? How they showed up, right? At a funeral, how they showed up for a protest, for a rally, for a demonstration, responses, right? Media, like learning how to really work the media, right? So someone who has already walked the path could help you walk yours better. It's 100%. And so again, I posted earlier, like I'm always looking for mentorship. I'm always open for more mentorship, right? What I think has happened in my life, my story is because I'm so strong-willed and I am powerful and I've done a lot of great things. A lot of people don't think they could mentor me, but they absolutely fucking can. Listen, I have nowhere near all the answers about anything that I'm fucking doing. But what I do know, I know, and even what I know that I can be better at, right? So I'm always open to mentorship, right? And tough, right? Mentorship shortens the distance between where you are and where you're going. Having a guide there, someone who's done it before, right? Someone who's done it before, someone who's doing it now and just maybe a little bit further along than you, right? Can help you get there faster, 100% faster, right? It shortens the distance between where you are now and where you're going. And so why people struggle without it, like I know I'm struggling right now in some ways without mentorship, because when you don't have guidance, you figure everything out the hard way, trial and error, which again is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's not like it's bad, but it's like right guidance, right mentorship, right perspective can help you, right, in so many ways, right? Because when you figure it out the hard way without the guidance, you make more mistakes. Shit takes longer and you stay stuck in blind spots, right? Shit takes longer. I know certain things are taking a long time right now for me. And mind you, I don't mind a long path. I don't mind a long journey, right? I understand that it's not just for me about reaching the destination. It's about the journey and who you become, right? So maybe I need to reach out more specifically for mentorship, right? I'm gonna figure that shit out. So you can grow alone, 100%. You can grow alone. You can accomplish the goals by yourself, but it just takes a lot longer. Sometimes it's costly mistakes. It costs you money. It costs you time, right? And time you can't get back. Money you can make again. Time you can't get that shit back. So know that mentorship doesn't only come one way. There are different types of mentorship. There's direct mentors, as we're speaking about, right? People you know. There's indirect mentors, right? Which is books, content, teachings, as Starhawk mentioned, as NEPPC mentioned, right? Reading, right? I know with fasting, fucking Dr. Sabi and Arnold Ehret was my mentors early on with fasting. Specifically, Professor Arnold Ehret, right? Wrote the book Rational Fasting and the book Mucusless Diet. Right, I have both of those books. I had them before. They got misplaced. I bought them again. Rational fasting, literally, like he said some shit in that book that he said a lot of shit in that book, but he said something very specific that it shifted everything for me. He said, nature is God's operating table. No, he said, fasting is God's operating table. When you fast, right, when you give your body to nature, right, and allow yourself to go without food for an extended period of time, is the divine nature of God working on you, right? Working on any illness, any disease, any type of sickness that may live in your body is being worked out through fasting. And that shit hit because, like, when you talk to people who have helped people reverse cancer, stage 4 cancer, that was the first thing: stop eating, fast. And again, I liken it to pets, specifically dogs, right? When a dog is ill, a dog's not feeling well, the first thing it does is it stops eating, right? So indirect mentors, and then peer mentorship, growing together, somebody with you, right, side by side, right, on the same path, a spouse, right? A friend, a colleague, right? Side by side, we're growing together as peer mentorship, right? So you could be guided even if you never met the person. That's the indirect mentorship. You could have never met. I've never met Les Brown. I've never met Tony Robbins. I've met Gary Vaynerchuk. I've never met Eric Thomas. I've never met freaking Napoleon Hill and all of these other people. I've never met them, but they are absolutely my mentors. I listen to them not every morning now, but most mornings I listen to them. Right, different talks, YouTube talks. Clearly, I've read a lot of books on a lot of different subjects, right? And all of those people are my mentors. And so I am who I am today because of their influence, because of their guidance, because of their wisdom, right? Because of their shared experiences. And so there's a mindset, right? In order to receive mentorship, you need humility. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe people don't think I'm humble enough. But if you know me, I'm very humble. I'm very like, I don't know everything. And I think publicly, I put it out there. I ain't got all the answers. Like, I'm struggling with this. I'm having pain here, right? But yeah, to receive mentorship, you need humility, right? Truly, right? Be willing to listen, be willing to learn, be willing to apply. And I also think the challenge, what has been, I guess, I'm looking. I haven't specifically sought out mentorship the last few years. Open to it, but didn't really, I guess, seek it out. But I think what has made it tough for some people in my past, right, who were mentors, who are no longer mentors, I guess, was again strong-willed, and I question things. Like, I'm not just going to do what you say, especially if I don't think what you're saying or doing is working. Like, you talk about you want to create more peace in the community and like still ban violence, and you're still reacting violently. I'm not going to then listen to something you say. Now, mind you, if it makes sense, yes, take the message. Don't pay attention to the messenger. But if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not just taking it, right? But so again, I get that. And in order to receive the mentorship, to some degree, you have to be willing to listen, to learn, and to apply. This is key. You can't grow if you think you already know everything. And again, I know I don't know everything. And I think some people think I do. Somebody told me last week that they were scared to offer some help because they're like, how can I help you? Like, they've seen me do incredible things. They know how powerful I am. And one thing I try to say all the time is that I need help. I always say I need help with everything right now. Oh, I need help. And sometimes I don't know what the fuck I need help with. Like, World Healing System, I don't know what I need help with. I just know I need fucking help. I need help breaking it down. I need help. Like, I need a lot of fucking help. Not just sharing a fucking fundraiser. No, like, that's cool. But I need help, like, understand how do we make this shit more digestible? How do we make this shit, like, I need help in every area of my life. And I think I am pretty open about that. The help I need, and even when I know I need help, but I don't know what specific help I need. I just know I need some support. I know I need some assistance, right? So now this is when you become a mentor. This is when it expands, right? Yes, you get mentored, and then you learn, and you have your own experiences, and then you become a mentor, right? So you're not just meant to be mentored; you are meant to mentor others. I've mentored, and I'm mentoring some young people right now. I'm mentoring some peers, right? Because when you grow, it's about passing it down. Somebody said, never look down on somebody unless you're lifting them up, right? And that's a fact. Never look down on somebody unless you're lifting them up. Never look back unless you're going to pick somebody up. You're like, yo, come on, right? I got you. Let's do it like this. Let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. Access to my information, access to my experiences, access to my perspective, access to my network, right? So it's a beautiful thing when you are being mentored, but then when you're also doing some mentoring, when you become a mentor, right? And that's in farm school we had a thing called training of trainers, right? I've always said leaders need leadership, and healers need healing, right? Healers need healers, and leaders need leaders. Somebody said if your leader doesn't have a leader, don't follow them, right? It said if your therapist doesn't have a therapist, don't listen to them. No matter how great you are, you need somebody else to see your blind spots, to somebody you could just talk with, right? Share ideas with. One of my, I think, most amazing relationships is with the elder, Mr. Harvey. He's 40 years older than me. I call him my mentor. He calls me his mentor. That shit is incredible. He's 40 years older than me. He says, you my mentor. You are one of the greatest people I've ever met. He calls me the greatest speaker. He makes me cry a lot of times. Like, he really like makes me feel worthy and humbled and grateful. Because again, he's 40. He lived a bunch of different lives. He's published a book. He's fucking was New York Times. Like, he's done a lot of shit. and to be 40 years older than me, 82 years old, going on 83 years old, is like, for him to call me his mentor, it's incredible, right? But that's how life is, right? Things happen unexpectedly, as they say. God works in mysterious ways, right? But that's what you're supposed to do when you grow, when you learn some shit. It's like Maya Angelou said, and I say it often: what I get, I give. What I learn, I teach. If I get something, if I receive something, my job is to give it. And if I learn something, my responsibility is to teach it, is to share it, pass that shit on, right? It's what you learn, you fucking teach. So this is a cycle, right? Mentorship is a fucking cycle. You learn, you apply, you grow, and then you guide, right? Like, I've learned some things. Have I learned everything that I want to learn? No. But have I learned how to stay out of prison? Absolutely. Have I learned how to express my emotions in a healthy way so I don't explode violently? Absolutely. Have I learned how to change my diet? Absolutely. Have I learned how to stop drinking alcohol and still have fun? Absolutely. Have I learned how to stop smoking weed and still have fun? Absolutely. Have I learned how to develop a healthy relationship with my mother, a parent? Absolutely. Who caused you harm? Have I learned, like, I've learned so many things and I'm applying it, right? And I grow, and now I'm striving to guide as many people as possible in all these different areas, right? All these different areas. I learned how to rewire my brain, right? Now I'm a certified brain coach, right? I learned a lot of shit, a lot of shit. I learned how to maintain peace in a freaking confrontational situation. Now I want to share it with people, and it keeps going, right? And this is how your impact multiplies. This is how your impact, it grows, it grows, it grows, it grows, it grows, because now people I've mentored are telling people, and now they're mentoring people, and now they're mentoring people, and it's like, it's a beautiful fucking thing, man. It's a beautiful fucking thing, and it has nothing to do with getting credit. It's about just, again, creating the world that you desire to live in yourself for others. All right, and now this connects again. Everything connects, man, to every single thing that we've been talking about. Awareness, right? Learning from others, being aware of what you learn from others, discipline, applying what you learn, consistency, staying on the path even when it gets difficult, staying consistent, staying committed, sustaining your resilience, right? And entrepreneurship. That's the big one we talked about yesterday. Building something with guidance, right? With guidance, and that's where I'm at now in entrepreneurship. Striving to build something I've never built before, and I'm asking for guidance. Can you help me? Like, what do you think about this? Like, how do we do this? Right? And so nobody, like, some people build great things, but nobody builds great things in isolation. Not in isolation. You build great things with a team. You build great things with some kind of mentorship, even if it's, again, mentors that you don't know, shit you heard or learned on YouTube, shit you read in a fucking book, right? So let me ask you all, man, what are you learning from right now? Who are you learning from right now? Who are you learning from right now? Two-part question. Who are you learning from right now, and who are you helping grow? Who are you learning from right now? And who are you helping grow? I think right now I am specifically, who am I learning from right now? I mean, I'm still learning from fucking Napoleon Hill, man. Napoleon Hill and Jim Rohn. All right. Specifically learning from them two. Right. I'm listening to those two a lot. And David Goggins also. And Eddie Pinero. I'm listening to Eddie Pinero a lot too on YouTube in the mornings. Throughout the days. I'm listening to those four a lot. And who am I helping grow? Helping my children grow. Helping my fiance grow, right? I like to think. Oh yeah, and also learning from her right now. Like, definitely learning from her. Like, we're similar but different in some ways, right? And like, again, I think well, not I think we were raised differently by our parents, right? Different style of parenting that we had growing up. And so sometimes I'm more like, yo, you gotta tell like this, and she's like, nah, like, I understand. And so, like, I'm learning, like, right? You don't got to be a dictator. And although I don't think I'm a dictator, um, part of how I was raised still shows up, not the yelling, screaming, cursing, hitting, but part of like, yeah, you got to do it like this, and you stop doing that, as opposed to like letting it be and then addressing it later, right? So definitely learning from that, right? And so before tomorrow, this is a challenge. Do one of these things. Reach out to somebody you can learn from. That's I gotta think about that. Reach out to someone you can learn from. Invest in learning. I'm always investing in my learning. I buy a bunch of fucking books, right? Buy a bunch of books. I was going to buy some more books, but I'm like, let me slow down. I was going to buy some more books like 2 days ago, but I'm like, let me slow down because there's some books I need specifically on immersive technology, right? But I'm going to wait a couple of weeks, get some more bread, right? I spent a lot of money on books the last couple of months, like, yeah, a lot of money on books, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on books the last few months. Or share something you've learned with someone else. So something that you learned at some point in your journey, share it with somebody else. Again, reach out to somebody you can learn from, right? And invest in learning. And yeah, I'm gonna sit with that. I think the one thing I'm gonna do is reach out to somebody I can learn from. I did it like 2 weeks ago. I reached out to somebody. I got to follow up with an email, have a meeting in May with this brother I could learn from, right? But I think I'm gonna sit with that tonight. Who can I learn from? Like what I want to learn specifically, like right now, specifically, is two things really. I want to learn like building a coaching business because this is still something that I've never done, right? I've never really like I've built things and I've been paid for things, but I've never actually built a business system, right? So building this coaching business specifically and building, right, the different parts of the world healing system, building the whole system and just the different components as well. Never did this shit before, right? So reach out to some people I can learn from. I'm gonna sit with that, see who it is, how many people I think I can learn from, and reach out to them. Again, I reached out to Gary Vaynerchuk before. I believe I can learn a lot from him. Again, met him, dropped off a proposal at his office. I'm gonna reach out to him again and find some of his posts, comment, DM him, right? Yeah. And so I'm gonna ask one last question: who is one person that has impacted your growth? Drop it in the comments. One person that has impacted your growth. KK said, I'm learning from myself, you, my finance coach, and my children. I'm helping a circle of sisters, you, and my children. That's a fact. Who is one person that's impacted your growth? So just one person. So I think the person I'm going to put in the chat, I'm going to drop my answer in the chat. And the person who has impacted my growth is through pain. My ex-wife has impacted my growth tremendously right now. Right, the situation with my children has forced me to be more compassionate because I know that, and more understanding, more forgiving. Because I know that if I would have responded in the way that the old me would want to respond, it would make the situation a lot worse. And so, because of the things that she has done, the things that she has said, the things that she has allowed to happen, it's impacting my growth, right? It's making me slow the fuck down. It's making me be more thoughtful of how I respond, of how I engage. So yeah, my ex-wife, right, is impacted in so many ways, right? But specifically, like as it relates to like calmness, like really thinking about like, okay, if I respond like that, it could potentially lead to this, and this is a result I don't want. Any one of these three results I do not want. So I gotta slow the fuck down, calm the fuck down, right? And fucking breathe through it. And there's many more people who have impacted my growth, right? Many more people. But it's that one person. That's one person who has directly 100% impacted how, like, the trajectory of my life, right? Again, I like to always say that pain you can transmute it and it can become powerful. Your pain can become your power. If looked at objectively, if looked at not with a victim mindset, right? So yeah, really grateful for these lessons that I'm getting. They're painful lessons, man. But again, there's no pain, no gain, as they say, right? So yeah, just to close it out, man. You do not grow alone. You do not grow alone. None of us grow alone, and we're not mental, right? We are interdependent, interconnected human beings, right? We thrive in community. We thrive in connection. We thrive in relationship. And so, yeah, man, extremely important, right? Mentorship is extremely important. Not just you being mentored, but you also mentoring someone else, right? So, take that shit serious, right? Take that shit serious. Again, my challenge to myself is I'm going to reach out to somebody I can learn from, right? There's a lot of things I can learn, like learning how to build a freaking social media, right? Like people got social media brands that's thousands of followers, and there's certain techniques that they use, right? Where I'm just raw, just post here and there, post long, post short, right? There's people who got this shit down to a science. But I think the biggest thing is like building a coaching business. I know that building that bring consistent income, and that will help me like fund my own fucking shit, and I ain't gonna need to fucking right. 'Cause I know that I got that Neural Soul Liberation Method. My coaching brand is $1 million brand by itself. I know that, right? I fucking know that because it's coaching and then it's speaking, right? Speaking about Neural Soul, right? So again, learning how to get on TED Talks, right, and all of these different things, these bigger platforms, that can spread this message. And I know that I have a story and I have a message and I have a way that I deliver that shit that's like none other. So yeah, man, that is our stream for tonight. KK said, "My son, which one? Which one? You got 4 of them."
I know. It's each of them. But I would adhere to the things I put my son, so whichever one.
Powerful. Listen, man, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. This shit matters. Tomorrow for day 32. Day 32. It's about family healing. It's a big one tomorrow. Family healing. There's a lot of family trauma. There's a lot of fucking shit that people hold, a lot of secrets, a lot of pain that families hold. So we're gonna talk about family healing, man. So I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys tomorrow. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Please do share the post when we post it. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Join tomorrow 9 p.m. We coming down to the home stretch, man. Today's 30. Tomorrow, day 32. It's gonna be 18 days left. 18 lives remaining. I was telling Kimona, like, I'm over this shit. I might keep it going. I don't know. Maybe when I'm eating, I feel better. Right, 9 o'clock streaming. I don't fucking know, but I love you guys, man. I wholeheartedly appreciate you guys. Remember to keep what you want at the front of your mind. Don't focus on the things that you don't want. Focus on the things that you do want. And that's what's going to manifest in your life, man. Have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.